Hola, hola, what's happening, people?
Good afternoon.
Everybody hearing me
Hello.
okay? Okay.
Yes.
What's going on? What is new? Damien, good to
Working on
see you.
putting a listing.
How's everybody?
Hey, Ray, thanks for having me, man.
Thank you. Thank you for showing. Eric, cool. Linda, how you doing?
I'm doing good, putting together my listing today. So for no open house this weekend. So tonight or tomorrow morning, I'm gonna, Thursday, I listen to you.
Nice, 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 nice. Good. Maui Miller, what's happening?
What's happening?
Doing all right, man?
Getting ready for my live stream.
For the live stream? Oh, you doing one today?
Thursdays at 5.
Oh, nice. Okay. Go check out Adam and his live stream and his YouTube channel and everything. You doing on YouTube? All of them or what?
I got 2 YouTube channels, technically a third one that I use just for ads. But yeah, continuing to figure out what works and what doesn't work.
All right. Hopefully we'll get some stuff going here today and give you guys some ideas. What's new? Vonda, how are you? Welcome. Who is first time on?
Hi, doing good.
First time.
First time on. Okay, so somebody go ahead if you're first timer. Tell us who you are, where you're from.
My name is Linda Moreau. I live in Bedford, New Hampshire, and I'm with eXp Realty. I've been in the business since 2014.
This is your first time, Linda? You didn't get on the last one?
No, I couldn't. So it is the first time.
Yeah, cool.
Happy to be here.
Hopefully it'll be fun. Who else? Eric, go ahead.
Yeah, hi. This is my first time on. Coach Ray Rice more and more regularly now. And this is my first time on the Mastermind group. And I've been doing real estate since 2006, technically.
Wow.
My name's Damien with One Home Colorado. I've been in the industry 4 days, and this is my first time here, but familiar with Ray.
Well, cool. You're in for a ride.
Looking forward to it.
So easy, dude. Just open the doors.
I'm Sally Valencia. I'm from Bangor, Maine, and been doing this since 2014.
Very good.
Hey, everybody. I'm Vonda Bailey. I'm from Dallas, Texas, and been in real estate for about 25 years. Excited to join.
Cool. Super easy, right?
Yeah.
Marta's your first time on?
Yeah, I forgot what it was all about, but I'm like, hey, let's do it.
How long you been in the business, Marta?
24. I always say 23 to 24. 48 years. I'm just kidding. No, 24 years, half of my life. So
Wow. It's easy for you still too, right?
oh, so easy. Mm-hmm.
Cool. Is that everybody? Debbie, is this your first time, Debbie? You were on the last one?
Nope. I was on the last month.
We've only had one call, 2 calls. She's been traveling.
2 calls. Yeah. Yes.
What's going on out there in the world? Give it another minute or so and kind of get started on this topic. Anything big?
We got an inbound and an outbound referral. That was exciting.
Inbound and an outbound referral too?
Yeah.
Nice.
About damn time.
How'd you get that?
The inbound was Jessica through social media, and the outbound, although we technically have a referral partner on Maui, this was somebody who we sold their friend and next door neighbor's condo like 4 years ago. And we had been talking to her for 4 years. Now she's like, I'm ready.
So Adam just moved back from Maui from all the fires and devastation, everything happened there, moved back to Florida now. So kind of restarting his business in Florida. He had a huge YouTube channel there, big presence and tons of leads all the time, and kind of having to kind of recreate that stuff. So,
Yeah, it's a challenge.
Brandon, how are things for you, man? How you been?
Hey everyone, doing well. All things considered, a little slower than I'd like to be, but yeah, just trying to chase down listings and find some new buyers. So prospecting mode over here.
I think everybody's kind of felt that. Like most people I've been talking to, last couple, it was slow for a bit there, right till leading up to school getting out, and then it's kind of picked up here in the last week or two. Leads and things have picked up a little bit more activity. Is that what everybody's seeing? Or the opposite? No.
Seems like the market's getting a little more active.
Yeah, you've picked up, I know. Gladys is busy all the time. She's never relaxed. How are you, girl?
Doing good. Just got back in from showing homes. So
And you've got what, 25 listings now or something? Kidding.
I wish. No, I don't wish I had 25. That's too many. Like I wouldn't be able to sleep. No, yeah, it's going good. I feel like more homes right now are going into multiple offer situation, at least here in my side of town. As long as the homes are priced correctly, and they look good, I feel like that's what we have been seeing over here.
Cool. So, and she's in Dallas as well. So we've got 1, 2, 3 of you here in the Dallas area, right? Paul Fritz, Vonda Bailey. What's up, Paul?
Me in Dallas. We're south. We're not in Dallas.
DFW area.
I'm giving him a hard time. I got my Maverick shirt on. It's the finals tonight, so I'm gonna claim Dallas for the rest of the week at least.
That's right. Yeah, good. Vonda, you been busy?
Yes, I've got a new listing coming soon in Plano. And then I've got a new buyer that I'm gonna be showing this weekend. So yay.
Cool. Good deal. I was just Jurgen. I think he's going to be getting on here. I had talked with him this morning. He's the one that got that $11.5 million listing in South Carolina. He just picked up another $8 million listing.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty cool. And he just got a referral. That reminded me when Adam said that. He just got a referral off the Tom Ferry page, the core group. Somebody was looking for an agent in South Carolina, and he's in Charleston. And he was speaking. He called the person. He didn't post on there. He just picked up. He found him and Googled him and called him quickly, and he got the deal. So, man, I know I've said it a million times, but be on those pages. Be on those pages. You can get referrals. That's free coaching for you right there for the year. I paid for your coaching, but more so than that, right? We say, please pay attention. This is an hour class. It could be one thing on here. It could be worth $1 million to you in the rest of your life. One thing you can implement and learn. That's the way I try to approach everything. Every class I have to go to is, damn, it's an hour and a half or whatever. God, it's a lot of time. But one thing is all it takes. Cool. Anybody else got anything before we jump in, get started? Nothing else to say? Anybody ever listen to Tony Robbins? Who likes Tony? Anybody ever been? I know Paul went recently. Paul did the well, he didn't do the fire walk, but you did it virtually. Tony Robbins thing. Good experience?
Yeah, it's pretty good. We didn't get to do the fire walk, but they sent us a board like in the mail to break the board, like karate chop, break it. But it was good. I mean, it's long. It's a lot of hours, 12 hours a day, and it's a lot of movement activity, but I recommend it. If anybody wants to go try it out, it's definitely worth the investment of time and money.
I did the fire walking. I thought if Oprah Winfrey can do it, I can do it. You know, it was fun. Did that with my son. I was like 2:30 in the morning in Palm Beach, Florida. We were in the parking lot somewhere, walking across hot coals. Yeah, it was interesting, different, fun experience. But anybody ever heard about Pavlov's 6 human needs? That's what I want to talk about today, just quickly. Then we'll get into some just open discussion Q&A. Oh, yeah, I learned this from Tony in one of the classes I did or something. I also did business mastery with him in Vegas. That was like 15 grand. So pay a lot of money, you tend to value something, you pay attention, right? But anyway, that was cool. Tony adopted this from Sigmund Freud, I think, is the first one who put it out in Abraham Maslow. Kind of took it further, and Tony talks about it a lot. But the 6 basic human needs, I always found that when I talked about this, just casually, I'd see people really leaning in and kind of get interested. And the way Tony puts it is, if you can learn what motivates people, you can figure out how to motivate them, how to move them. Kind of like disc profiles, right, Damien? You've been studying that a little bit here lately, and we've all taken those. And if they speak French, you speak French. But if you can, there's 6 basic human laws according to Freud and Maslow. If you can figure out, there's usually 2 of them that drive us most. We all have the same 6. The first 4 are kind of basic human needs, and the last 2 are more about what Tony calls needs of the soul. So the first one is significance. So there's lots of behaviors, and different cultures have different behaviors and things that they do, but we all have the same basic human needs. So I'm sorry, not significant. We'll go for certainty. Some examples of certainty that we need in life. Know that our bills are paid, right? Know that the kids have health insurance and that everything's going to be okay. We all need certainty. We have a roof over our head. That's certain that we're going to survive and be okay. Everybody following? Pretty simple. You can display these and meet these needs in a positive way and negative ways. Having enough food, that's a certainty, right? That makes us feel good. Some negative ways is if someone gets super angry all the time, they just fly off the handle. Who knows anybody like that? I do. First-hand experience with them, flying off the handle. Well, they get certainty from that. Because if they act crazy and go nuts, they're certain how they feel, and they're certain that they can take control of the situation. And that's a negative thing, because it helps them in the short term, but it's not sustainable long term. Right? It's not healthy long term. Alcoholism, drug addiction. You do something and you feel certainty. You get that same high that you're certain that you've had all the time, but it's temporary. It doesn't last. Same thing. So need number 2, I had these little slides I forgot about. The second one was so if everything is certain in our life, and think about these things as what's kind of your top 2 drivers in these 6, okay? So if everything was certain in our life and we knew everything that everybody was going to say, and the minute they were going to say it, and the minute they were going to do it, we knew exactly what was coming. That'd be kind of fun for a little while, but then it would be what?
Boring, repetitive.
So the second need is uncertainty or variety. We want some excitement, different things. Find my notes on that one. And I'm not an expert at this stuff, guys. I just always think it's a fun topic. And so the more I learn about them and teach them, it kind of helps me with them. And I pick up something different every time I re-listen to this stuff. Variety is the what of life?
Spice.
We've all heard that, right? Our whole lives. So we don't want to be bored out of our mind. We watch television shows that are fast action, always something different, even though we watch Seinfeld or whatever, but it's different every time. So variety. Extreme sports, going to the spa, attending doing things differently, right? That's variety. What are some negative ways? Violent behavior is variety, right? That's what Tony talks about. That's why we've all had violence forever. It meets, I think he's 4 of these needs, violence meets. And anytime a certain behavior meets 3 needs, it becomes an addiction. Emotional eating, deviant sexual behavior. Those meet that variety. Kind of makes sense in negative ways, not positive ways. I always kind of tended to think about these. First time I heard this concept, thinking about things in positive ways, but they also are negative ways too. Variety. Any questions about that? Number 3 is significance. It's a big one for me. Some positive ways to feel significance, right? Serving in the military, providing for your family, contributing to humanity, right? Donating at the soup kitchen, donating your time to church. Very positive ways of feeling significant. I know a lot of people in the Tom Ferry world feel significance when they go up on stage. And I just have some inside peek behind the curtains on this stuff. We're in a safe place here, right? So not going to go outside of the NTRR mastermind group. You know, there's lots of people in the Tom Ferry world, right, Adam? You know, been around a long time. Team Plus. People I know in there that have been in Team Plus coaching for 10 plus years. Why? Are they still learning from their coach? Maybe a little bit. But Tom makes them feel significant when they go up on stage. And that's meeting one of their needs big time. When you come off of stage, you have all these people rushing up to you going, oh man, that's so good. You're so smart. How'd you do that? Oh, golly, 300 transactions a year. God, that's great. And they get to swell up their chest and they feel significant. And that's an addiction. They don't want to quit that. It's meeting several needs for them. I want to leave a legacy. That's another form of significance. A legacy for kids, grandkids, financial. Some negative ways for feeling of significance. Violence. Tony uses that, like ISIS or terrorists. You know, if I stick a gun to your head and I say, give me all your money or you're going to die. How significant am I at that moment? Very, right? And the next human need is love and connection. A negative way of that significance of me sticking that gun to your head. How deep of a connection do we have right now? You and me. It's a negative, right? I've got a gun to your head, but I'm freaking significant to you. And we are deeply connected. You're paying attention to everything I'm doing, right? Gang violence is big negative for the significance. Tagging, you know, spray painting things. They're putting their mark on it. They feel significant. And, you know, one of the things that Tony says, and I've just kind of picked up on this last couple of times I've listened to this, is instead of judging and seeing people for their behaviors and why the hell, why would you do that? Start thinking about what needs it's meeting, and then maybe we'll understand why they're behaving that way. Cool. So what did we leave off with? So love and connection was the 4th one. Kind of self-explanatory, right? We all want to feel loved and deeply connected. That's why we're in this mastermind group here. We're all connected. That's what I want anyway. want you guys to go to the summit and know each other and have somebody to go to breakfast with and go to lunch with or happy hour. We all want to feel part of a group, right? Gangs, the NTRR group, whatever. Sorry, I couldn't come up with a better name for that. Cuddling with your partner or your kids, loving on your pets, positive stuff, eye contact. Negative, dominating and controlling others who are forced to show appreciation to you because you help them with one of their dire needs. That's a negative way of feeling connection. The number one negative behavior or addiction Tony was talking about, that I heard him say recently, it's not drugs or alcohol, pornography, one of those things that we think. It's illness, creating an illnesses so that we can feel significant, feel love and connection, whatever need it's meeting for you, lots of different ones, by talking about illnesses. I thought that was interesting. Anybody see that or have that going on in their life? Someone, a mother, father, somebody that you know, it's always sick. Speak up. Anybody got any examples of that? You don't have to say who.
My grandma is not with us anymore, but she was that always sick, always had something wrong, so that people would come to the house, and you know it after a while, and you do what you got to do. But yeah, and I can see it a lot now, just with how many things we have in the world, and we know now, like with mental stuff, like everybody seems like they got a thing, and I just sometimes wonder, do we really all have that, or is that do we all have ADD, or is it just that significance and that camaraderie? What is that sense of belonging and connection and significance? So, not saying that people don't. Absolutely, my kids and my wife all have it, but I sometimes is in my mind, like, is that a connection thing?
Yeah, it's interesting. When you start thinking about it. Yeah, why are people doing these behaviors? It's meeting a need in some way, positive or negative, and Tony even says neutral too. Sometimes it can be neutral. But I'm gonna share my screen to you guys. Yeah, you're probably scrambling for notes and you figure out where we are. Number one was certainty. Number two, uncertainty or variety. Three, significance, love and connection. And then, so those are the first four, the basic human needs. And then the last two, where he says are needs of the soul, growth. One of my biggest things is growth. I'm addicted to YouTube. I don't, reading books now, Audible. Only not my whole life, but these last 12 years probably, since I've been around Tom Ferry world. Lots of reading books and stuff that I never did before. By the way, I'm turning 56 in a week. So it took me a long time to get like 40 years old before I got growth oriented. This is a very boring 40 years. So growth, so continuously growing. If we're not growing, we are what? Anyone?
We're dying. There is no neutral. There is no stagnant.
Hear that a lot with business too. If you're not growing at least by 15% every year, growing a new customer base by 15%, 10% is going to die. Just no, there's nothing you can do. 10% is going to die. They're going to move away. They're going to do something. They're going to physically die, whatever. You're going to lose 10% of your business every year. So if you're not growing by 15% new customers every year, you're going to be going backwards. And then contribution. Let's go back to growth for a second. Positive means of growth: exercise, learning, reading, study, personal development, learning a musical instrument, new later in life. Grow in your faith. Some negative means sliding backwards, growing into growing into a despicable human, watching too much TV, and you're giving in to bad habits. Contribution, the last one here, the last needs of the soul. The last two of the needs of the soul, the ones that make us feel alive, according to Tony. These are the ones that really, the meaning of life, kind of what Tony says. Right? Contribution, volunteering your work, your hours, service-based career, teaching, police, coaching, medical, religious, spending time with your grandkids, nephews, nieces, going to nursing homes, volunteering, doing stuff like that. It's meeting that need of contribution. Negative ways, contributing to the destruction of others. Took me a second to think of anything negative, right? Ganging up with others on an individual or bullying, selling drugs, being condescending, prostitution, creating negative art that influences others. So this says politicians and government officials and the general public voting towards degeneration of a nation. Kind of deep. So again, so instead of seeing people, judging and seeing people for their behaviors, start looking for at their needs that those behaviors are meeting. And again, if you can meet 3 needs by doing something, it becomes an addiction. And maybe that's good. Working out, something like that. And he mentioned like smoking a cigarette. You know, you get a lot of certainty from that because you know and it variety makes you feel different from you're feeling before. You get that deep breath, and you let it out, and maybe you're getting more oxygen. It can meet lots of different needs just by smoking a cigarette, and that's why things can become an addiction. Cool. Anybody? What do you think? Is this interesting? Security is like the #1 need, and I know I'm not trying to be he, she, any of that stuff, but females have a basic need for nurturing and certainty, a lot. I've seen that a lot in my family in life. They want to know the bills are paid, the mortgage is paid, and we got a place to live, and everything's going to be okay. The kids are taken care of, right? Does that resonate with anybody?
Definitely.
Yeah, I think that's the first time I think I've heard of that if they meet their 3 needs, like it becomes an addiction, right? And I think an addiction, like we're talking about, could be a good thing or a bad thing, right? Most of the time we correlate addiction with bad, but I guess if you're addicted to a positive thing like working out or doing something like that, but that's kind of crazy to think about it that way, and that it, why we do certain things. Well, because it fills a need. So when you think deeply like that, like, I'll think of Kyla right now, my little one. Why does she act like that? Well, it's filling a need. So when you think about it that way, it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of crazy. I'm like, oh, why do I do certain things? Oh, okay. Well, it makes a lot of sense, whether it's positive or negative,
Right. I know at almost 5 o'clock every day. That's my trigger. 5 o'clock. I go in and I make a cocktail. Why do I do that? Need to substitute that trigger for something else, right?
Mm-hmm.
Go to the gym. What are you gonna say, Eric? You start to say something?
You can like use this to reflect on, why do I find myself doing this, right? And like, whatever, let's say it's a negative that you want to get rid of, watching the news or something. You can kind of see which needs it's filling for you. You can see, why is that an addiction for me? and perhaps replace it with something that'll fulfill those, that's maybe variety, right? And something else. And you can figure out a solution that fills those, that is a positive as opposed to a negative.
Maybe our spouses all need a little variety. I'm not being dirty or anything like that. Just, a different routine at night, or, when you come home from work. I saw several people shaking their head. But Marta, that was great. That was very insightful. It took me like 3 times listening to this 45-minute thing, I'm like, oh yeah, that an addiction thing. I know I mentioned it a couple times because I just picked up on it like this 3rd time really hard. So you're smart.
Well, I just think I have to stay in with my personality. I have to stay in good habits, especially my morning routine, like we talked about in team meeting the other day, or I can go from one extreme to the other, right? So you were talking about having a cocktail. That's an easy way to escape, right? So I just started thinking in my head, why do I turn to that? Well, it's filling a need. It's to escape and relax. But why do I need to relax like that? You know what I mean? I don't. So it's something that I guess, like Eric was saying too, just to be cognizant of why we're doing that, and to some of these things that we're trying to all work on, like flip that to something else that we are going to benefit from more so than going back to the same habits or same whatever it is, that causes us to do certain things. So, it should yeah.
Anybody know someone that works like 20 hours a day, every day? Why do they do that? There's reasons why you do that, Paul. What needs are those meeting? I'm not meaning to put you on the
All of
spot.
them. Significance, contribution, growth, all of it.
Why?
Yeah.
So
Variety, not
addiction.
having to just take care of kids and do all these things, the same thing every day, over and over and over.
We all have a lot going on in our life, but I'd be willing to bet $1 million you don't have as much as Paul has going on. That was funny, Paul. Debbie, what do you think?
Well, I just think they become habits. I mean, so obviously your 5 o'clock drink becomes a habit. For me, a lot
It's
of
a Diet Coke, by the way. Diet Coke.
Well, you need to put some Jack or something in that.
You start my habit early. You're a bad influence on me, Debbie.
It's
I know.
somewhere.
I have that effect on many people, it seems like.
What did you take away from that?
From the 6 needs?
Yeah, anything cool?
Yeah, I mean, I have gone over these many times in the past. I've used them in different things. I mean, when I was working on my MBA, we worked on that.
You probably teach this.
When I was with Edward Jones, I mean, it was in training with that. So, yeah, I've come across those multiple times in my life. And I mean, for me, I think growth is always a big one. So, you meet those basic needs and then you move on up and
you have an MBA. You have an MBA, right?
Yeah. Yes. I'm always striving for growth.
What's your DISC profile? You're high C, analytical?
Yeah.
I pegged it. I knew it. Damien, do you have that pegged yet? He just started his DISC profile stuff. I'm not hearing you. Maybe maybe your earbuds or something. Sally, what do you think about all this?
I'm kind of thinking in my head how that would be implemented or used with clients.
You know, if you have a client with a certain behavior, I mean, kind of understanding where they're coming from, but how can we use that to influence them?
We're not all sitting here trying to figure out how we're going to influence our spouses, make them change.
Well, Sally, one that
And
I
only-
missed on a deal we just had, and I didn't think about it until Ray was talking about the anger part of it.
Mm.
She was so angry at everybody all the time over everything. It got to the point where I communicated through email only. And it was a terrible experience for everybody. But now in hindsight, if I had been focused and thought about this, she's trying to be certain and significant. She's got to be the significant one in the transaction. And she wanted certainty because it was new construction and it was the most uncertain thing in the world. Like we showed up the day before closing and there's no sod, right? So like looking back on it, that's one that had I known, I probably could have managed that transaction, not manipulated or, you know, pushed her, but to understand, and my reactions would be different. And the way I worked with other people on the other side of it and the builder would have all been different versus she's crazy and she's irrational and we're doing everything in writing.
Mm.
Excellent example, right? Is anybody else thinking of a real estate example they could use with any of this while we were discussing it?
You could certainly anyone's need for safety and security, right? Like that's pretty easy way to help someone realize that you got to have a home somewhere and might as well be a permanent one as opposed to renting, for example, or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty easy.
Linda, what about you? You're on mute.
Okay. I don't know. I'm listening. I don't know if I can say that, but the need when we help people on a day-to-day to find a home and we close, that gives us a satisfaction. So that's a need, a sentiment in the pyramid of Maslow. No, you feel accomplished or you feel good that you help people. No.
Significance, yeah,
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah.
For you, yeah.
You're happy to have helped people to make them happy. That's how I would translate that into the business. You know, you give great service and makes you feel good to, yeah, accomplish. Yeah, that's what I would say.
So that's how you feel. So that must be something that you value, because I could do
Yeah,
that
I do.
transaction probably, and or Paul or Eric or somebody could do that same transaction, and to them it might be more about, you know, one of the other needs easily, right?
All that also, and add to that security, it brings in money, blah blah blah.
Right.
But you know, it's twofold. You know, the emotional side of it, even though it's business. You know, feel good when you help people and they're happy, and security bringing money.
Yeah. Vonda.
All right. Let's see here.
What'd you like?
I think probably just relate to the love and connection more than any of them. I mean, obviously the growth too, but
Is that your
just-
two? Is that your two
yeah,
top
that's probably
for you personally?
quite a few significance. Like Linda was saying, with helping your clients and stuff and getting that significance and contribution. All good stuff.
How about solving a problem? You know, we had somebody on our team recently, had a listing that was stale, right? And nothing was going on with it. And he came to me for advice on what to do. And I gave him some suggestions, moving the photos around, do the reverse prospecting match. And Marta, you did the same thing. I haven't heard your outcomes yet, but he did this, and he sent a text. He made 200 phone calls in like 3 hours, of all the people that were in the reverse prospecting match, and he generated 7 new showings for the property, and got an offer, and then they accepted it the next day. Yeah, pretty cool. So I felt good, you know. Nothing tickles me more than when my clients and people come and they implement something I said and have success. And that's super cool for me. Probably significance and contribution, right? And maybe in growth for that person, in my head at least, anyway. Marta, did you have anything come from your reverse prospecting?
Well, I'm still making my calls. I think I did 30, and I did a lot of text messages as well yesterday. Nothing came of it, but there were some questions, which I think with this particular listing, these agents aren't educating their buyer, right? So I'm educating the agent. So to show them that this could be a potentially good deal, just go take a look at it, and that my seller's motivated. So it's starting to ring up questions. Why are there this many properties on the market over there? Well, they're not, it's a difficult community, which obviously I'm not telling them that, but it's generating at least a little bit more conversation, right? And that's making my seller happy. And it's also, it's making me feel that I'm doing something, at least I'm trying something different, that, there's, I'm not just sitting around hoping that something's going to just happen, because it's not,
So why are you doing this? Yeah. Why are you trying to, I mean, I know you want to make a sale. That's easy, but what else? What's driving your behavior, Marta?
Well, the one listing that I got, it's from the same client that we got under contract in 4 hours last weekend. And I deeply care about everybody that I work with. So once they sell these investments, they're retiring. So I'm helping them retire early, like this is what we do is really important to what these people do. So
You say that's love and connection. Is that love and connection, or is that contribution?
I think it's both. And I think it's a lot, because it gives certainty, that I can, support my family, significance, love and connection with these people, growth, because I'm doing something I never learned how to. I've been doing this for so long. I've never did the reverse prospecting. And one guy I called yesterday, he was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Well, let me teach you. If you have a difficult listing, maybe this can work for you too." He's like, "Oh, whatever." And
you better be careful, Marta. This could become an addiction for you. Meeting a lot of your needs. In a good way.
Better than other addictions. So,
Yeah, it's a good way. It's a good one.
Yeah. So, but anyway, we'll get there.
Miss Gladys. What did you hear in this conversation?
So I think certainty, like for me personally, certainty it's a major one.
When I said
I
that,
have
it was like bing, 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 bing. Yeah.
I have to have being self-employed after, having salary job, like I have to have X amount in the bank for me to feel okay. So, and just not worry, because I cannot.
Our paychecks don't come on the 1st and the 15th, do they?
Exactly. Yeah. I cannot live closing to closing. I have to have enough to cover, a few months. So for me, that's one. And then I don't know, I think just being able to help someone solve a problem, it gives me a lot of satisfaction at the end, just because I know I'm contributing to something positive in their life. And that's why I always tell people whenever I'm interviewing for a listing or buyer rep, I do my best to cater my services to what their needs are, and then create a plan to follow it accordingly to achieve their goals. And that's how I feel that I have received a lot of repeat business over the years.
Phone's been ringing like crazy lately. Must be working.
It has. Well, and which I owe you my review, but I've also been working on my reviews on Google. So like I've had 2 people in the last week who found me, social media or just Google Maps.
Oh yeah.
And
Good.
yeah.
She's getting a lot of referrals. On groups she's not even in.
Yeah.
And cool on Facebook. Okay, so we can continue talking about this, or we can talk about, open discussion for the last 15 minutes or so, whatever you guys want to talk about. What's top of mind? What issues can we solve? Let's solve the world.
So my 2 listings in Oklahoma.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
They're within walking distance to the beach on Lake Texoma in Kingston, Oklahoma. Brand new manufactured homes, but each of them are on about 3/4 of an acre. One is listed at $239 and the other one is listed at $279. So both well under the 300,000 price range, and they could be great investment properties because that area gets packed for the holidays. Like during the summer, like it's over by it's only like 15-20 minutes away from the new development out there, Point Vista, I think it is, in Kingston, Oklahoma. And there's golf course, there's casinos, there's tons to do. So it's a very popular area. So bring me something. Bring me some buyers.
Some
Yeah, some buyers, some ideas. I got a call. So I was putting out signs the weekend before the week before Memorial Day weekend. And I had some custom signs just directing people to the neighborhood where these 2 homes are located at. And I've had a couple calls from those. I have to call one back today. They called me today. But
how long on the market now?
One right under 60 days and the other one 30 days.
And no showings lately or what?
No showings lately. I've had showings, but nothing in the last week. No showings from anyone with an agent. The one serious buyer with an agent decided to go with something else.
So have you done any kind of marketing outside the norm, besides putting it in the MLS?
I mean, I've done a lot of posts on social media, but I'm not paid for it, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I've never had success with paid ads on social media. So my plan is to just post in as many groups as I possibly can. But besides that, I have.
Is it one owner that owns both of the houses?
Yes. Yeah.
Do they live in Oklahoma?
They don't. They live here in Texas and like Rockwall, Roy City area. This is an investment for him. So he bought the land. He put the houses there with the septic and brought utilities in there.
When you post them on social media, do you tag the owners?
Oh yeah, and the owners share my posts.
Share them out. Yeah. Good.
Yes. Yeah.
Good. What else? Who else has some ideas?
Do you want to stick with social media stuff? Is that like your primary way that you're wanting?
I don't care. Whatever sells the houses. I don't care.
I don't, just sticking with the social media and it doesn't cost anything. So when we do stuff like that, we try to do multi-levels. So we would do an open house. It's just a reason to do more video to put on social media and then buy from local people. Like in our Geo farm, there's somebody owns a charcuterie business. So we buy from them. So you tag them, they share your stuff on their page and you cross promote. And the more of those you can do, the bigger the reach on social media and crossing platforms and different people. Right. So I would just say, if you want to stay with social media, that's just something we do. Even like If you come out and do like a broker open, this is one we're playing with one of our listings, that it's a higher price listing and the values in the land and all that. So it's a unique property. We're putting together like a broker open house where we're going to invite the agents over. Now you can tag the agents. You do a giveaway from local companies, like agents come fill out your feedback form. And here's $100 gift card to the little winery that's in the same city. Well, now you're promoting it on tons of different people and different agents' websites. And that's not very expensive. And especially if you can get local businesses or people in the area to donate or to contribute or get some value out of it.
Okay. Yeah, so I do have an open house scheduled for June the 15th for both of those. So
Day after my birthday. What do you got?
yes.
Good day. And on the open house, you could have, if you visit both open houses and give me feedback for agents or buyers, I'll enter you to win a 25 gift card to, I don't know what's around there. I don't know Oklahoma that well, but
Yeah.
the local Norma's Cafe. And now you're getting all that traction when you tag Norma, and Norma's going to share it with everybody. And then you go to Norma's and you say, hey, Norma, I'm buying a $25 gift card from your little local cafe. Can I put this little flyer here to invite people to go to my open house down the street? And I'll tag you in it and you tag me in it. And you just, like, it's always 3 to 5 levels. I tell our agents, like 3 to 5 layers of how you can.
Okay.
That's brilliant. Brilliant, right? See, that's why we come to these mastermind groups. You learn stuff, man. It's awesome. That's good, Paul. Thanks. Really
Does
cool.
your MLS
Thank
have a spot for listing what's considered income properties? Like to market to investors?
I have to go back and look, but the problem with that, I guess I would just have to change the property type in the MLS.
You can have it listed in 2 places. One, right now you're just marketing to who wants to live in this home, but you were saying
Yeah,
how good of a value it could be as an
it
investor.
could be, yeah.
That's a whole other pool of exposure. If you have a place to list it as an income property, like sometimes they do that in ours, where you're listing the whole building of a duplex, right? Like both sides.
Yeah.
So you're obviously marketing to an investor, right? Like one person's not going to live in both sides, but you also
Yeah.
leave it in residential, even both sides of it in residential for that. But there you can list things like, and you might do this anyway, do some research. Have you ever tried like Rentometer, the website, rentometer.com? You can go see, and then you could market, hey, the potential rent on this thing in the summertime, it's getting,
According to Rentometer, is
right. Yeah. It gets, $550 a week or whatever. That alone could inspire whether a home buyer for what they're going to do with it later once they move out, or just an investor that's just looking for a return, or does it cover my mortgage? You might market the return value on it.
Okay.
Good.
That's great info. Thank you.
Sure.
Lonnie, do you know where that is? That far from you?
Yeah, I mean, we've been to Lake Texoma. I was just wondering if he ever used it as an Airbnb, or would it be allowed to be?
It
used
should be
for-
allowed to be used as an
Sure.
Airbnb. They're brand new. So
Brand
he
Yeah.
bought the lots, cleaned them out, and installed the homes there.
Yeah, might try marketing. I don't know how to market through with Airbnb, or maybe he could even rent it out for July 4th and get it
sounds
get
like
it on
it'd
those
be
sites.
a
Yeah,
good Airbnb property right on the
Yeah.
lake.
Yes.
You just want to make sure that the town allows Airbnbs, or it doesn't have any limitations on it, because I know a lot of towns here in Maine, they're putting limitations on that due to housing crunch.
Short-term rental.
Yeah.
It's a Wild West in Oklahoma. They don't care about it.
Yeah.
Might be.
As long as you have a
They have
gun.
no rules. Yeah.
You can put that in the listing.
Okay.
No rules here. Do whatever you like.
It was really like that in New Mexico. We're on motorcycle riding in the deserts, and you start hearing guns going off, just crazy. No laws. And they're just target shooting or something. They're not like gang fighting. Not right there. That's all in Albuquerque.
Mm, that's all true.
Right.
Okay. So those are all great ideas. Thank you guys.
Do you have, is there any way you can send, like I heard you talking about them. But then that's just making me think like, I don't know that I have everybody's, and we could post it in the Facebook group for the NTRR Facebook group. But a link to like that, because I'm interested. We do investment properties and I have a little investment group. They may be interested in something in Oklahoma as long as it produces right and they can do STR on it or whatever. So maybe you can post it there.
I do, yeah. I'll post the links on there. I have videos as well. I have social media reels that go through the property, and then I also have videos of like the entire area with the two homes because they're right next to each other. So I can post them on there here in a little bit.
Yeah, I'll share too.
Yes, yes, please, everybody share the love.
Send it to me.
Yes.
Still, most of my friends are still in Texas. Brandon, you're quiet, bud.
Sorry, I was on mute. Another agent and I were just talking, and it kind of was eye-opening for me where they were talking about, a house, yeah, market it, right? But market the neighborhood, the lifestyle, the type of things that a future homeowner would appreciate about that house. Obviously, you cover the basics and show the property, but if you can tie in like local parks, schools, I forgot who mentioned it, but like local businesses, getting them involved, that's kind of a new thing that I'm going to try and adapt with my video pieces. But yeah, no, I mean, there's so many ways to do it. When it comes to social, I learned the hard way. Instagram probably isn't your best bet. So if you want to take advantage of posting on YouTube, maybe leverage ChatGPT to create some like SEO optimized description. That's what I started trying to get more of like the surrounding area involved and like show off that lifestyle. I don't know if that will help, but something to think about.
Yeah, I did use ChatGPT to create my description for the listing and tweaked it, of course, and added stuff about the lifestyle and like what, you're not just buying the home, you're buying this lifestyle that comes with it, and this is what you can do.
Yeah.
But yes, yeah, good tips there.
Brandon, what was your top 2 human needs? What resonated with you? Brandon works out a lot. He rides a bike, mountain bikes, and plays golf.
For me, I don't know. I think certainty is a big one, like being, certain. When we were talking about that one specifically, I was thinking about it from the client perspective. Like they need to have the certainty that you can do the job. And that's pretty straightforward, obviously. I don't know. I also think belongingness, I think was one of them.
Connection and love and connection.
Yeah, that's what it was. I think like for me, creating communities around like the things that I enjoy. So working out, golf, mountain biking.
We did that charity event too, right?
Yeah, and I do a charity event each year, which is all for the community. And that's pretty fulfilling. And it also generates business, which is cool. That's just a bonus. But yeah, I think those are my 2. Safety and protection, that's kind of standard, or security, I think it was. But yeah, those would be my 2.
Cool. What else is going on? Damien, what needs do you have?
I have lots of needs. I think my biggest right now is needing confidence in myself to do a job I've never done before. I've been selling auto repair for 12 years. I could do it blindfolded with two hands behind my back and sell a $2,000 job like it's nothing. And it's making me think back to my initial days doing that, and how fumbly I was and not unsure of myself and not confident, and how long it actually took to build that confidence. So I think that's my biggest need right now, is to trust and believe in myself, because I know how to do this. I can do it. I just need to practice.
So Damien's going to be heading up an ISA team eventually, and really trying to grow that part of the business. And so scripts, dialogues, reaching out, cold calls, leads, circle dialing, all that kind of stuff is going to be really big for him. So anybody has any suggestions for him? He's what, 4 days in the business now?
Yes, please. 4 days in, I will take every last suggestion you can and will give me.
Yeah.
Do the thing, implement, do the thing. That's what I'll tell you. Most people procrastinate, put it off, find hurdles, excuses, and a year later they're like, well, I need to, and you just look and say, well, go do the thing. So you got a good coach. He'll help you put action plans and implementable stuff in there. Be an implementer.
Thank you.
What's that say on your board, Paul? Can you zoom in on that?
I don't know that I can. I'm not a technology person. I can read it if y'all can't read it. I don't know. Is it even backwards?
Yeah. So this means has several different meanings. Paul, I think Paul wrote it for a different meeting, but I was thinking about his team members on his team, and like I always talk about my agents in Santa Fe, New Mexico, right now, not implementers, and people get left behind. It's like, it's all right. We can't all be top producers.
It is what it is. So it just says, I won't be able to bring everyone with me, and I will have to mourn those that do not take the journey. I am somebody who always wants to take everybody to the next level, but not everybody wants to do that. And not everybody wants to be capable. So people are just happy not being there. And it is a mourning process for me to say, you know what? I just can't do that. And I might have to be okay with that.
I wonder what need that's meeting for them by not taking action. I start thinking about things so differently. Everything.
Certainty.
Yeah.
That's stable.
They want to stay right where they are.
Scary to go out into the unknown, right? Outside your comfort zone.
What's crazy about that, and I was going to throw this out there a couple of times, and I'm like, I don't know, because I haven't thought through it logically. What I notice are that people, certainty and uncertainty aren't a big thing for me. It'll be okay. I'll figure it out. If it all fails tomorrow, I can build it again, right? It doesn't matter. But I also am not a big adventure person. I like to go see nature and be at the national parks, and I like to go do things. But my wife is a very certain person. She needs very high level of certainty. She also has a very high level need of uncertainty. She gets bored very quickly in her certainty. And I think it was Brandon that was talking about he has a high level of certainty, but then he goes and plays golf and works out and does mountain biking and has the charity, and he has all these things that create uncertainty. So I'm just in the moment trying to process, are those correlate? Like if you're high certainty, you have to have a high uncertainty to offset or something. Does anybody else notice that, or is it just me?
Brandon, you like to do different workouts all the time, or you do the same workout every time?
Yeah, I mean, I do like variety. For me, I think certainty is kind of like a natural, like human behavior, to obviously with this whole conversation being about human behaviors. But like for me, I don't think it's as top of mind. When I was thinking back about it, I kind of prefer some variety, because like you said, Paul, like if it all crashes down today, I could rebuild. The storms that we're going to weather, we have to have the confidence to like push through. And I like what you mentioned about getting started. It's all about like implementing, but I think it's also like embracing the uncertainty a little bit. But for me, I like to mix it up, and I've fallen into traps where I've tried to take on too many different things at once and not made progress. But I do enjoy a little variety, at least within like kind of my hobbies and activities. So I'll mix those things up. But I kind of look at those as opportunities to meet people. So it kind of creates like a community in that belongingness, the connection piece, through things that I enjoy. But I don't know if that fully answers your question, but I see what you mean, like going from certainty in some ways to variety in others. I think it's a spectrum. Like we all fall into these different groups, and one might be higher than the next. But I think there's this like a variation of like in different situations, certain things are obviously more applicable. But I don't know.
We
I
all
really
have
don't know.
all of them to a different level. Like we all have all those needs. It's just different level. And that it does give me some clarity. I just imagine, and then I see the old meme where it's the woman sitting at the table, 40 years they've been married, and she's like, "What happened to the man I married?" You know, and she's like, "I got this man that, you know, I made certain to do these things, and now there's no more variety, and now I'm bored. And what happened to the man I married?" Well, it became this thing over time, and I think people, and it's not a male female thing, but it's just that high certainty, that basic, if that's really high, I think that uncertainty, you got to have variety to offset it, right? Just like the growth and contribution. I don't think you can be huge in growth and not be big in contribution. Like you can't grow for yourself, right? And if you're you're a person like goes and gets master's degree, just to have a master's degree, Debbie, you probably enjoy sharing or teaching that with people or helping other people. Like you're growing to help contribute to other people. You know what I mean? So
I wanted to finish my college degree so I could have a ring. I wanted a ring so badly. I'm seriously. I mean, growing up very, very blue collar, Southeast Texas, and that's probably significance. I know, right? Maybe that's why Debbie got her master's degree. Was it significance or contribution or both?
Probably both, but I didn't do it until later in life. To be quite honest, when I was younger, I went to college. My first year out of high school, I partied so much that had I gone back, I'd have been on academic probation. So I quit and ended up getting married a year later. And then it was several years after that before I ended up going, I had children. And then that's when I went back to school and got my undergrad degree. And I thought I was stupid because I was failing in college. And so I thought, you must be dumb. My first year back, I had a 4.0, and it was like, you're not dumb. You did not apply yourself. If you don't go to class, you don't make grades.
You're telling my life story, Debbie, too. Exactly. I was failing everything except for my PE classes in college. I was a
exactly.
PE. Then I went in the Marines and then matured and went back and I passed.
And I think that happens for all of us. All of us reach maturity at different ages of our life. You know, none of us are.
Do you think those top two needs can change when we change age, when we get older or younger?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Gladys, you're shaking.
Yes, I think I think you start seeing life from a different perspective, and you start to value things that you didn't value before. So yes, those needs will change as
when Brandon was
grow.
talking, he says he wants to do things differently, and you know, and he's okay taking risks and forget it, I'll figure it out later, whatever. I'm thinking, oh, you're so young. Right? Some of those little older ones, right? We might maybe security starts becoming more important the older we get. We start thinking about retirement.
Yeah, that's probably going to change real soon.
Looks like we're all thinking a lot, so that's good. I get you thinking. Cool. I'd love to hear any stories, anybody implementing anything or talking about real practical real estate examples like Paul did with his client that was angry all the time. I had a spouse that was angry all the time. And now I'm thinking back, which needs was that? Excuse me, for sure. It was big time security. But if you asked her, she would have said, "Yeah, I am fine. I'm a strong woman. I can do whatever I want to. F you." You know, that was creating her security because she was taking control.
And significance.
Yeah. Yeah, big time.
It's interesting you bring this up on this meeting because we were just brainstorming with the team that what we can do. We already do so much on listings, but like it's just going to get harder and the market's going to keep changing. So what can we do to sell houses and to convey to our sellers that we're the best option? And the thing we came up with was kind of the HGTV approach, because there are some people, like now I see it at Significance, who when we do and tell me what y'all think about this idea. Like, am I wasting my time and money, or like, do you think this might help? For 10 or 20% of the people, like doing the video with the homeowner in the video, telling the story of the house.
Good idea.
Whether it's this historic home and this is why it's
That's
important,
great.
or here's the improvements in my pool. You like that? Like, there's people who are going to say, absolutely, I'll hire you because I get to be on the commercial, right? There's significance right there. Like,
that's cool. And then they will certainly share it, all over social. And yeah.
has anybody ever
Unless you get the one that says, "Oh no, I don't want to be on." Marta, are you still on? I don't want to be on video. That's Marta.
That's okay. We should, not everybody has to be in it. It's that.
Are you still there, Marta? Yeah, yeah.
It's
Can't hear you.
I'd rather you hear my voice, but yes, that's me. I don't like it.
Eric wants to be on video, right? He was going to do the floss dancing video realtor.
That's
He's a
hilarious.
dancer comedian.
Yeah, no, I would want to do that. And I think that has to do with the connection, right? Like, I love what I do. One, for significance in my clients, change their lives for the better. I'll do that even if I didn't get paid. But also throughout the process there, I want to create a love and connection. I want to, what you're talking about, like being on stage or whatever, for me, that would be like love and connection with the audience and just feeling like an influencer.
Love and connection, and then significance. Those are the two.
Definitely so. Definitely so. Far above my own, to my wife's dismay, far above my own safety and security and looking out for my own interests. It's way more important to me that I'm providing something significant to someone else, and ideally something they want to tell people about and change more people's lives.
Cool.
Well,
I'm
I have
sorry,
to.
I'm gonna have to go soon. I have a meeting. I'm so sorry. I thought it would be.
No,
an hour.
we're wrapping
I'm
up,
sorry.
right? We're all wrapping up right now, I think.
Nice to see everybody. Thank you. Sorry.
Bye, Lynn.
No
See ya.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Anybody else anything before we jump off? Was it pretty fun? Do you like it?
Yeah, neat. Definitely.
Good topic. Cool.
Yeah, need to get perspectives from all over the country.
I was just going to say, I feel like this has provided a very different perspective and outlook than what I'm used to. So very helpful.
That makes me feel good.
Hey, you do a good job, Ray.
And I feel love and connection with all of you guys.
When you go to Summit, you're going to have somebody to sit with. Go to happy hour, whatever. At 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Very cool.
Enjoyed it. See you next time. Let us know if you need anything. Post your questions on the Facebook group. If there's people out here to help.
Awesome.
Love you.
Thanks, Coach.
Bye.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you. Bye, guys.
Thank you, Ray.
Bye. Thank you.
Bless.